Okay, we are live. Welcome to, gentlemen, welcome to Champs Corner Memory Lane. And we're just here to reminisce on boys' champs. Girls' champs will be coming up in a few days, but this session is us reminiscing on boys' champs. And with me, I have Davian Clark, repping for Kingston College, Mr. Fortis.
Yes, yes.
We have Quarter Miler Ricardo Chambers, repping for Christiana High School in Manchester. We have Mr. Unseen, repping for Unseen Sports TV. And of course, Prince Kevon, a sports vlogger, repping for Belfield High School. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. Let's get right into it. Champs. If you are to measure champs, how big is boys champs? Take it away. Unseen TV, how big is boys champs?
Well, Boys Drums is a big event in Jamaica. From a old boys perspective and just a natural supporter of track and field. It's a big event. And when I was a little boy, I always wanted to go to champs even before I was, well, I said, I have common sense now for what actually maneuver myself when I'm outside. Mom said, no, you're not going because things can happen at champs. So, it's a thing that a lot of youngsters just want to go once they love sports and stuff. So champs is very big. The love is there for it. The only thing I see you need to fix is the grassroots in terms of how we administrate the administration. You understand me? It need a little touch up. So, but otherwise, from that, the talent is here, so the product looks good.
Prince, you're burning to say something.
Yes, boys champs, boys champs, it's as big as it get, right? This is the event where legends are born, right? This is the event that world record holders, that Olympic medalists are born. And trust me, I've been to boys champ even before I was eligible to go to high school. I remember going to primary school and my uncle, by the way, my uncle used to run for Casey as well, right? So he's a Casey old boy.
Yes.
And, Fortis in his blood. I used to go to champs and, there was other athletes where I was sitting down because they usually have a little link up, and I'm like, yo, when I grow big, I wanted to rep Fortis, I wanted, to I see the amount of joy that the athletes have when boys champs, and I wanted that. I wanted all of that. Unfortunately, I had to went to a country school due to being relocated, But definitely, boys champs, there's no other like it in the world.
Davian, you're a Fortis man, and we're getting a little feedback. We're getting a feedback from someone. I'm not sure. Are you hearing the feedback?
Yeah,
I'm getting a little. Yeah, I'm getting a little feedback. Ricky,
Ricky.
you want to check your thing, Ricky?
What we do?
I'm getting some feedback. I'm not sure. Yes. All right. While Ricardo is sorting out his technical issues. Yes.
Yes.
Right. Davian, sorry. You as a Fortis man, you've represented Kingston College from I would say class 3 all the way up. Tell us a little bit about your experience at Kingston College.
Well, as for boys and girls champs, when I was growing up, I thought it was the largest 3-day, 4-day competition in the world. And then I met some Nigerians, and they told me that their sports festival in Nigeria is the biggest one. But we're not going to argue about who has the bigger sports festival. But I think Champs is a sports festival. That's what it should be rightly known as. And it's the largest in the Caribbean. And it's way bigger than the Penn Relays as far as the amount of athletes in the stands. If we had a bigger stadium, we would have 100,000 people. That's what I believe. So it's a large sporting event. We have international media, international shoe sponsors. We have everybody
You can
that
hear me
comes
now?
down.
Yes, Ricky. Yes, we're
Yes.
hearing you now. Yes, you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, we have everybody that comes from all across the world to participate and enjoy the event. Like Unseen Sports said, we have alumni from all across the world that tune in via podcasts and or show up religiously every year. When I started in Champs, my first Champs that I watched was 1989 Champs. I was in the stands watching, and I was so excited. I could feel the drums and the energy in the crowd. And I said to myself, I have to find a way to get on the track team. And so 1990 was my first one in class 3 that I was a participant. And that helped me um, to grow as an athlete, but it also helped me to grow as a person. I overcame nervousness and shyness because of boys and girls champs. So it gives a lot. It's not just a sporting event, but it really helps you as a person to grow.
Champs is celebrating, Boys Champs is celebrating over 100 years. Started in 1910. The corporate Jamaica, the corporate area rules Boys Champs. What it is that the corporate area schools are doing that the rest of Jamaica is not doing, or they're unable to do. Unseen, as a coach, I want you to tell me what is causing this tilt with Boys Champs, where the top 3 schools are from the corporate area. Kingston College with 33 titles, Calabar with 28, Jamaica College with 22. What is not happening elsewhere in Jamaica?
Um, it's two things, I think. It's money and recruiting. So money, can lure anybody to their school, and your style of recruiting. You understand me? I have to be perfect as well. Because you can't have the money, but you don't know how to use it to get the best talent. So I believe that the schools, some of this, and also the administration as well. I think that one, the administration. So the administration, most of the time, these principals are the board of management are not into sports. So it affect the outcome in terms of sports that the school enters and stuff. So based on my experience, my alma mater, Oberlin High School, I went there to teach, trying to start the football program. But a couple people like it, and the person with the pen and the paper to sign things don't like it. So difficulty there. The school, I would say the past student, they have money, they can fund it easily. One person can fund it, and they have not a lot of big man that the money would fund it. But it comes down to it's a religion as well. Religion as well is a main factor in it as
So
well.
if the head of a school is not really interested in sports, the school will not do well.
Will not do well.
Basically.
Yes.
Prince, your thoughts?
Yes, this question is a very interesting one. However, I believe that the problem is not really money. The problem really comes down to the alumni associations. And the reason why you will find that the boys are stronger in Kingston is because of one thing: ego, right? First of all, the most all male school is in the Kingston region. And we know that males normally have a bigger ego, right? So everybody want the bragging rights. So now the Old Boys Association, they pump a lot of money in these programs, and they provide a lot of resources for these schools, right? And you would have realized, that there are schools in the country region that are also good in tracks. If you should look at the states, the Olmwood, the Edwin Allen, but you'll have realized that all these schools are co-ed, right? And then if you come to the Kingston region, you'd have realized that the Kingston region, we have a lot of all female schools. And you would ask then, if the all male schools are this dominant, why aren't the female schools dominant? Because you'd have realized that the females, they don't have that much of an ego as the male. Because the male, they want all bragging rights. The female, they don't really care about that, right? There is a few female that actually loves the track like how the males love it, and that right there is a problem. So you will find that a lot of females leave and they get big position in the private sector, the public sector, but these females, they don't really come back to give to the school, and that is the issue. The males, they want everybody in the male category want to say, I did this for Casey, I did this for JC. It's all about the bragging. So right now, KC probably have too much and JC have too much, and meanwhile they might have a Woolmers for girls, that's looking for funding for the chat program. You might have a Queens, the support is not really there like the males. And
so Davian, so not
yeah.
to cut Prince, Davian, so do you
Yes.
agree that it is ego on the boys' part where and that is one of the reasons why the Kingston schools, and I guess their alumni is stronger, yes, than other school, but does ego play a part in this constant success with Kingston College, Calabar, and Jamaica College?
Yes, I agree that there's a lot of ego, and everybody wants to see their school do better than the other school, and it's easy to rally and get the financial support um, because of those things. However, I don't think the women's school. I don't agree with you, Prince. I think they still have the same funding and they have the same ego and drive, but is more so there's not as much of the female population that's into sports. So there's a larger participation in sports on the men's side. So that's why it seems like the women's side is not as good. But I think they are just as passionate and they put as much money and effort into it. If you look at the Olympic level, when the funding for both sides is the same, the women win more medals, right? So champs, the male dominance at champs is obviously because we have more participants. That's what I believe. But
Ricardo,
mhm.
sorry, Davian.
No, man, you're
Ricardo,
good.
Ricardo, you went
Yeah.
to Christiana High School.
Mhm.
In Manchester, your thoughts on why you think your region, you're from Trelawney, but you went to Christiana High School in Manchester, where the women at Girls Champs is dominated by Central Jamaica, the Veer Technical, the Homo Technical, and Edwin Allen. What do you think is one of the main problem in your region, Ricardo, why the boys' schools were not able to be more competitive at boys champs?
Well, I think it's resources and tradition is two era that play a part. For example, the schools in the Kingston area and stuff, they have way more resources. So they could be funding more programs. They could attract more youths to their program and attract even more people in the school to participate in the program in comparison to the country area. And it's also traditional as well, I think, because if you're supposed to take up on school and say, all right, then KC been winning champs for many years and Calabar and JC and in schools. If I'm a young youth in my young days, we admire those schools. So if we have any opportunity of going to those schools, we quickly transfer or quickly gone.
Very good point.
And they have the resources to pull you from the country schools. The Kingston schools winning, but if you check the roster, which part they use them come from a country. If you check the roster, where they use them come from during even the senior team, a country. Then go school in Kingston, but a country then come from because schools in Kingston have the resources. In the country schools them, you often find them in my time when I go there, you often find them beg and them stuff there for raise money for go champs. Like just going to champs is like a big financial roller coaster for them, and they have to raise money, beg money, all kind of these things. And then the Kingston schools them have room and board and breakfast and lunch and all these good things.
Speak the things, Ricardo.
Yeah, so them the play a role, and for example, now if me can compete against somebody who sleep in our bed when they are champs and then get pushed, they don't come over so took over so and there. Yeah, and then me and them compete and me have to asleep on the floor upon one little thing, you understand? They have an advantage of us, big advantage. The reason why I think the girls them perform better than the man them is the girls school them in a country better than girls school them in a Kingston is because traditionally the woman them hard to send them girl put them at home, so they keep them back a country if they can. So it's harder to recruit female athletes to the corporate schools, but the man them they send them down. But the woman them they don't want them. The young girl putting them, they don't want them leave. Got town, they might think about town, bad, they might think about all these things. Maybe now it's changed, but back in my days, there was always we can see.
Very, very good point. And
you know, HP, that can be very debatable, because remember that I coach at the primary level, so I know what takes place at the primary champs, at prep champs. And what I can say, Ricardo, is that no country school will beat any town school in primary champs. And you have all those females coming from the town school up for grabs. And I want to tell you that these females are the females that are going to Edwin Allen. So in the female side, we have a reverse where the Kingston girls are going to country schools.
But you know what is so funny? I was doing some checks the other day, and what I realized, even though the corporate area dominates boys champs, but when you look at our Olympians and our world champions and our medalists and the men who made the Jamaican team, most of them are from out of Kingston. So, Unseen, talk to me about that. What could be the main reason for that, where Kingston dominate the boys' schools in boys' champs, yet our men who represent Jamaica comes from outside of Kingston?
That's a good question. I personally think that some of the time overwork can be the factor. I tell you this, I remember this youngster at GC Foster when I was going GC Foster, Demish Gay story. He wasn't that top runner at school, so coming from the country school and stuff. And when he went to GC and stuff, getting the work and stuff, they didn't want him. It's like it was a new sports for him and learning it and stuff. And voila, he's one of the best 400 meter, a couple years ago and things. So sometimes when athletes has less wear and tear coming into the professional settings, it's better for them. Coach love those athletes more. And at the high school, the training program is crazy, At Calabar, 10 200 meter, you know. Only for
Wow.
600. Dangerous
Wow.
But
program.
HP after Ask Unseen, why he's telling Demish Gay story, Demish Gay is coming from my alma mater,
Oh, he went
and
to Belfield?
I went to school with Demish Gay, so
Those
I know
schools are really
everything,
having a big
But
program.
yeah,
Yeah,
so at the time when Demish Gay was there, we had Kemoy Campbell, and Kemoy Campbell was winning goal. He was broken record at Carifta at Champs, But Demish Gay at the time, never interested in a track and field, ball at the man be, So at the time he was really focusing on football. It was when he went to GC Foster College that he
right.
started doing tracks and he started to taking it serious. So I think that is one of the problem with also the country school is that even though we are exporting athletes to Kingston, I'm pretty sure that the country schools they can have a lot more athlete than what they are producing because the culture is not there. In Kingston more of a sporting culture. In Manchester and stuff, they're more of a educational culture. So everybody there is focusing on education, not so much about sports. Maybe because in Manchester there is not really any dominant sporting group, like a JPL or any track club, right? It's really Ormwood who was carrying the mantle. We have two good schools. We have the Manchester Eye and we have the Ormwood. And I can tell you that majority of Ormwood athlete not come nowhere near Ormwood. Like everybody almost exported from different
They come from
regions.
another region.
Yes, it's really the Manchester athletes, Manchester Eye athletes that really comes from the parish of Manchester.
St. Jago. St. Jago is the most successful co-ed school at boys and girls champs, winning 4 on the girls side, 2 on the boys side. Now, St. Jago has won 2 boys champs, 1987 and 1993. Kingston College won 33 titles, as I said earlier, Calabar 28, Jamaica College 22. And when you look at the list of Olympians and world champions that comes out of St. Jago High School, what can we say is the reason for that transition from champs into becoming some of Jamaica's top most accomplished track and field athletes? Davian.
Well, one of the reasons for Kingston College success that I found out when I was part of the team growing up was a lot of especially in Class 3, a lot of athletes that participate in Class 3 because we normally don't have a big Class 3 team, but a lot of them come from different sports. So we'll get a soccer player, a cricketer. So they come from different sports. Back then, I'm talking about when we had those streaks, 15 in a row and so on. And so they didn't transition to become Olympian because track wasn't their first sport, They were just, they did soccer as a main sport and they just tried to help the team to win and to be successful. So that's how Kingston College used to win those titles. They didn't have people that were predominantly only in track and field. So that's why they were able to build such large teams and get such good runs. And also what I think causes a lot of those Kingston schools not to have a lot of Olympians, like Unseen said, the wear and tear. But even though there's wear and tear, there's way to train around that once you get to the elite level. But they just don't have the interest, and that's why I say it goes back to you have athletes that might be soccer or basketball more focused. And so track and field is just to help the team to be successful. They're not doing it for themselves. They don't have the individual drive. And so after time, they don't want to run in the Olympics because once you get to the Olympics, you have to start specialize and say, okay, I'm only going to run the 400. I'm only going to do the hurdles. They don't love it that much. And so that's why I think you have that big gap. That's what that you're seeing.
Prince.
That's my personal opinion anyway.
Okay, Prince, what are your thoughts?
Yes. So I wanted to tell Davian that it still happens where athletes that normally plays a number of sports go over to the track, and from time to time they might decide to go into different sporting ventures. Even as we're speaking right now, I'm currently upset with one athlete from Kingston College, right? And before I go,
Don't call no name.
no,
Yeah,
not
don't call
calling a
any name.
name, not calling a name, but I can go into the issue a bit, this athlete, he was really under my guidance while at Kingston College, and at the time I bought him his first spikes, and he was a class 3 champion at the 400-meter hurdles because he did the hurdles, right? And I think he came third in his first year class 2, and the parents, I also know the parents, they decide to let him play football. So he's currently at a Jamaican Premier League club, and I'm saying that if the child is that good to be a class 3 champion, and you know that your first year is not normally your good year, right? Because the first year class 2 and you got a bronze. You're expected in your second year class 2 you get the gold. So he's definitely an athlete with quality, and I mean, gonna let him choose football. Come on, this might have been an Olympian, and you let him choose football. So I'm still sour over the decision that they made. But all I'm trying to reiterate is that things like this do happen in track and field. So most of the time, we might see athletes that are really good, but they are also good in sports and also in some business careers, and they might pursue what they believe is their destiny. Hence why we might not see the transition with a lot of athletes, especially when they come from prominent schools, because you would have understand that the KC, they have the KC athletes, the JC, the Calabars, these athletes have the resources at their school to excel in other areas. So they don't necessarily have to choose tracks, while they might find athletes at a lesser school with lesser resources choosing tracks, because most of the time these athletes, they don't really have a choice.
Good point. Good point. Unseen.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about why you think St. Jago is so successful at the elite level, the pro level, the senior level, and they're not one of the dominant force at boys champs. And when I say dominant force, they've won 2 titles, and champs is over 100 years old.
Um, so so one of the things with St. Jago is that they get the best talent from across Flatbridge, from St. Catherine here. They get the best talent from that section. They have good coaches. They have coaches in the primary system as well who help them to recruit. Both you're talking both female and male, right?
Well, mostly male, but yes, you can, because the females from St. Jago are also very accomplished.
Right. So you also you remember Nagazed is a dominant force in primary school championship. So in the girls section, they have a coach that works with Nagazed, right? Who works with St. Jago for girls. The lecturer now at the head coach of the field event department, Mr. Gale, a lecturer, big up Mr. Gale. He's the head coach now at St. Jago. So the linkage with people and past athletes and stuff, and the past student in terms of the monetary input, in terms of getting track athletes and stuff, it's easier for them to get athletes from the era. Easier, very easy. Where you find out that the Calabar now are tapping into that basin because they find that Chris Taylor was from that era. You understand? And they took away Chris Taylor by a nook, and they took away Byron Walker now who is at Calabar, who is performing so well. They name him as one of the next Chris Taylor. You understand me? So the basin, the era, the one of the things that affect them sometimes is Monk Street. You hear that saying? You hear that saying? Monk Street and Punk Street. So out of
Oh
appearance.
yes, I've heard it.
Sometimes them say the violence in a Spanish town.
In Spanish Town.
Yeah, it's not good for the children. So sometimes them prefer if a next school come, they will send them go like a Calabar. You know, a top school come with a better offer because they work with the offer. So if Jago come with the offer, they work with it. But if a better offer come, they will go with the next school. So the recruiting what Jago have, they have a lot of branches, roots all over the primary school. So it's easy for them to get talent and also their past student and their administration. They are for sports.
Ricardo, you left Champs very early in your career. How different for you was the training overseas than what you would get back in Jamaica for Champs? Was it any different?
Yeah, well,
which was better?
Would I say the culture of Champs is much better because when I was doing tracks in high school abroad, it was just more like an extra activity to do at school. But when they're doing when I was doing tracks in high school in Jamaica, it's more like a championship, like you're working towards something. The sports other than football and a few other sports over there is not so much of a competition, more like I said, okay, they need to do a physical activity while they're attending school. But well, in fact, now I'm speaking for track and field. When in Jamaica, different case, man.
The thing up.
In Jamaica, it's a more serious venture. It's more like you think, all right, you see, in Jamaica, the way how we view track and field back then, we view it as an opportunity out of poverty or an opportunity to prosperous life. Understand?
Yes.
So it taken more seriously, both from parents and even the community at large. They see, especially if you have a good talent, they'll be like, boy, this is your way out of poverty. And then some of them will nurture it and things.
Davian Clark, Mr. Fortis.
Yes.
33 titles. I want you to give away some of KC's secret. What's the secret?
It's not a secret. Everybody know that the first run, the first 15 or so titles was made possible by Mr. G, Sir G, who was our weight training specialist. He was one of the top weightlifters in Jamaica, and he brought more strength training into the athletic realm so that the KC athletes were stronger and more durable, and so they were able to outlast all the other teams. And when we talk about the corporate schools and some of the country area schools, I think that's what's missing. They don't have the same type of gym and weight room facilities, and that's where they're falling behind. They have the muscular feature because they do a lot of hills and they eat a lot of yam, but still, just because you have muscle, that doesn't mean that your muscle is strong. Weight training have to complement your athletic, and if you don't have those things, you can't be successful. One of the things that the alumni did at KC, I let out some secret, but we have an ice machine for rehab, and I know that Calabar, they have a very good food program to make sure that the athletes have the fuel, because a hungry athlete, your muscles is going to be weak. If you're hungry, you can't stay focused, you can't pass your classes, so you're not going to get the success that you want. So, it goes back to budget when you talk about the gym and the food and stuff like that. But, those are the little things that make a big difference. When you see athletes falling down during the competition and grabbing their hamstring, having rehab facilities and good medical care and a nice vitamin plan and a good food plan makes a big difference. And those are the things I can look at with Kingston College, that I think, and some of the other larger schools where I think they have better facilities. I said JC just built a new they have a rubber track on their facility. That makes a difference. That could take away some of the lower leg injuries from knee and below when you have the right surfaces to run on.
Wow. So, listening to most of what Davian just said, champs, in order to challenge for title, you need big money. In other words,
A lot of
whole heap of money, enough money.
not money, but going to be a lot of investment. Put it that way.
Coach Unseen, your thoughts?
Money makes you a champion with good management.
You agree, Prince?
Yeah, definitely. You definitely have to have the right amount of investment. And Unseen said money makes you a champion, but I will say to that most of the time. Most of the time, because I've seen schools beat a higher investment school with lesser athletes. Right? We can call KC
We
because
can go back to
one
2010. Champs
yeah
2010.
we can go back as far as the last time Woolmans won it. I mean,
2010, yeah.
Woolmans won it with a
For
small team. We have seen JC won it with small teams. We have seen KC won it with small teams because I can remember that one year everybody had Calabar as a winner, and Calabar they had a very deep squad. I mean, they had up to 5 athletes that can do one event, and every single race he was a different athlete. Nobody was doubling up for Calabar. And KC going into finals and Calabar going to finals with 2 person. KC going into finals with 1 person. And still they managed to barely inch Calabar with a very small squad. So most
1.5.
most of the time money will carry
Yeah.
through, but
Yeah.
sometimes the quality the quality is all the way.
Can't be
Quality all
denied.
the way. Yeah, quality all the way.
I totally agree. All three of you are involved in coaching, preparing for champs in Jamaica. How difficult it is. Our track season start from the first Saturday in January at the JC meet, and it runs all the way through. How difficult is that, going to meets every week, every other week? How difficult is it to get your team ready and to decide which meets you're going to go?
I just want to correct you, though. JC meet isn't exactly the first meet of the
True.
season.
True.
I'm talking from an athlete standpoint. So I pretty much
So you're going back to
you know
December. Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
normally the meet at Excelsior is the shoes meet. I don't know if you guys know about the shoes meet where you don't run in spikes, you only run in shoes at Excelsior. That is actually the first meet of the season. Then normally after that would have been the JC Pure Water, and then but most persons normally officially kickstart JC Pure Water. Not all persons go to the Excelsior meet, right? So I'm just
Thank you for that.
reiterating that fact.
Yeah. Yeah. That's normally in December when most people winding down and enjoying the holiday and doing stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So for the question that you had asked earlier, you just jump out at me.
Yeah, getting your team ready. How do you prepare? How do you prepare a team for such a long season with so many different meets to attend?
All right. So I can't really explain from a coaching standpoint because I've never coached at the high school level. While I was an athlete at the high school level and never actually coached there, right? But what I can say is that A lot of hard work. That's the first thing I have to say. A lot of hard work. Like hard work is just the key of the day. Like persons see athletes going out there on the track and they don't know how much hard work you would have to put in just to run a 100 meter, just to run a 200 meter. We are talking weights training. Sometimes I was from Manchester, so hills, a lot of hills. I have to run up Blue Mountain. I have to go to place like Coffee Grove, you know, a lot of hills. Then we also had the weights training. Then we had the technical stuff on the field, trying to get the proper techniques, the proper running techniques. I was a 400-meter hurdler, so that technique was everything for me. If you're not going over the hurdle properly, that means you're using up a lot of energy that's not needed. So when it comes down to the 400-meter hurdle, you have to have the speed, you have to have the core, you have to have the technique, you have to have everything. You have to have the stamina of an 800-meter runner, and also you have to have the speed of a 100-meter runner. That is how crucial it was. But leading up to boys and girl champs, there is a lot of hard work, going through the different meets. The coach set his goal every meet. So the coach might come this week and him tell you that he wanted to run this time. And, it's a lot of hard work, trust me.
Davian, what was your preparations like?
Oh, it's all about planning. The most important thing for the season when you're getting ready for champs is to get the 4x1 and the 4x4 relay athletes to get a lot of time to gels to work on their passes. I remember running at Coca-Cola Comets relays doing the 4x1. Morant Bay relays doing 4x150, 4x3, 4x6. So it's a lot of repetitions of going to these meets and working on the relay passes, and then try. And for the coaches, these are opportunities to see different athletes on different legs and trying different combinations, so that when you go to the championships, you're better prepared. And then at boys and girls champs, people are doing 5 events or 4 events or 3 events. So if you know what combinations to use on the relay, then maybe you can put in some rest for some of your top athletes so that they can only come in to run into the final. So it's a big system for the coaches to kind of, and then you have different classes because you're not talking about only class 1 relays. You have class 2 and class 3, so a different combination, a lot of different athletes. So a coach might be coaching the class 1 athletes, but not really paying attention to the class 3 athletes. So you don't want to run the relay, your class, the class 3 relays too late because you're not going to know what's going on with them as well. So that's what I think caused a lot of the complications with the boys and girls champs, because you have so many different age groups that you have to focus on instead of just focusing only on class 1 or only on class 2. And so that's what I think makes it very interesting and very dynamic.
Mr. Unseen,
you're
the sprinter. You're the sprinter. All right, go ahead.
On the HP before you can speak. So you guys can see the difference, between an athlete that went to a lower school versus an athlete that went to a higher school. Athlete that was competing for champs. So you're saying that you have coaches that specialize at the class 1 and the class 2. Me, while I was going to school at most, we had 7 coaches. So
some schools only have 1 or 2 coaches that focuses on everything.
Well, no, like you might have a head coach, but at the same time, because most school they have a head coach, but they have support. I know that every school have supporting cast, so you might not really see the other coaches like you'd have seen them in KC and JC, but coaches, even small school, they do have supporting cast. Probably 3, 4, 5 members, because one coach, I will tell you HP, one coach can't bring a team to champs. There's a lot of planning regarding marshalling, because you have to know when the athletes to be marshal, the athletes have to go there to warm up and stuff. And it was when I was at the primary school level, I understand that while I was at primary champs, because I was a person that was round at Stadium East. I was getting the runners warm up. I was marshalling them, ensuring that they are registering for their race, I never really enjoyed it, because I thought that I would just get a free gate pass to the stadium to watch running. And I absolutely, and when I was there, I didn't get to see any running. I just hear that my athlete came first, my athlete came fourth, because I was paying attention to the athletes at Stadium East. So, yeah, definitely. It's not that easy
Not
as
that
people
easy.
think.
1999 was a big year for track and field in Jamaica, where boys and girls champs were merged.
Yes.
Unseen. Merging the two events brought some glory to girls champs, to the ladies. Why can someone explain to me, why is it that the women weren't getting the support? What is it about boys champs that boys champs seem to have? You don't have to advertise boys champs to get the crowd in the stadium. What is it about boys champs that is so different from the girls champs that the boys seem to get all the support? Even the ladies, even we the ladies, I'm guilty of it. We put on the male kits and gone to stadium and hey, Calabar, KC, JC, whatever. Yet when it's time for girls champs, the stadium used to be empty. Unseen, your thoughts?
All right, so it's a genetic thing, woman like male. Mommy is like their male son. You understand me? So from there, you can find out that the attraction goes towards the men, because a mommy will always want to go to a track meet and watch her son running. Because I fear man that, You understand
So
what I mean?
what about her daughter?
The daughter for the father. So the father will promote it. You understand? The father will promote the daughter. For real, it's a genetic thing. And if you ask the mother for real, they will tell you. Because I'm a coach and I ask that question all the while. Why is it that the mothers always go for their sons whenever they're doing sports and not much of the daughter? And they will tell you that, boy, it's just the feeling, the genetic. It's hard to explain, but you cannot see the relationship between them and them son. You understand me? Whenever they do track meet and thing. You understand me? And
Davian.
Yeah. Well, I used to go to girls champs. I used to love going to girls champs, but I know for girls champs, when they used to have them separated, girls champs, most people would come on the 2 last days.
The stadium would be empty. I used to run up and down in the stadium.
Yeah, but the first couple of days nobody came because it's just eats. Now at boys champs, even though it's just eats, everybody's cutting school, leaving school early because they want to go watch, because they know that the eats are crucial.
People leaving work.
But also
we're Tifa from work to go watch heats.
But also boys champs, they have the band. KC has the band. Calabar have the band. So there's more.
JC.
Yeah, JC. So there's more people put more into it. Girls champs before, the girls never have no band. Them cadet chord never have no drummers and all those stuff. There wasn't no cheerleaders, and so now we have cheerleaders, we have mascot. So there's more. Is the business of sport, and because more people come to boys champs and more money is made, that's why there's more attractions and more things involved. That's the only way you can explain it.
Prince, you're burning to say something.
Yeah, this was actually one of the questions that I had prepared for. And one thing I can say is that it's sports overall. So overall, male sports normally attract a lot of persons. So this is something that can be considered bigger than the actual champs, because female play football and male football carry more crowds, right? Also, Keenan are easy at all. Also, if you realize other sports such as cricket, etc., right? Now, on the female side, we talk about the ego on the male side, right? The males wanting to have bragging rights, right? On the female side, it's not that much, you know? And the fact that the males are going at each other, they want to have bragging rights. It kind of create a little bit of excitement amongst the crowds. And the females, even though they are not creating the excitement like the males, that is what they want. So in their mind, they are more attracted to the male side because of the excitement. Because may I tell you, you see, once you put two bull in a ring and them ego eye, that's gonna be a show to watch.
But the women are competitive. The women have been competitive for a while now, dominating Jamaica's track and field. So why is it that they cannot get the support that the men is getting?
HP, and we all say it comes down to the ego, to the male ego, because as I said, like for example, let's take the Usain Bolt era where we had the Johan Blake and the Asafa, right? You would have realized that the female era that we are facing now with the Sherika Jackson, the Elaine Thompson, and the Shelley, and this era is actually exciting as the Usain Bolt era, you know. But guess what? The Usain Bolt era would have attracted more crowd because of the ego of the athletes. So we have the Justin Gatlin, who is the villain, you know, and you know, he's behaving, carrying on, and now we have Usain Bolt, who is the superhero, the runner that the whole world wants to see win. So right there, there's a narrative painting an exciting narrative, right? It was only on the female side when I think
Shakari
entered the scene. So it was when Shakari entered the scene and everybody saw the Jamaican females as these great heroes that are gonna demolish the villain Shakiri. So was really when the excitement really created around the female part, you know. So I'm saying that this is all about the male, hence why the males will carry more support. Because if the females are not showing any character, then nobody will be interested. But the males are full of character. Look at the last time when Calabar 110 meter hurdler. Remember my name again?
Who, Deja Russell?
No, them top man. 100 meter, 200 meter.
How long ago?
Racers Track Club.
Who? Oblique?
No, not Oblique. 110 meter earth. O'Hara.
Oh, Michael O'Hara.
Michael O'Hara. Okay. Remember, you know, that when O'Hara won at Stadium, O'Hara took off his shirt, you know?
2014 it was, yeah.
Even though this sparked many controversy regarding the digital,
it was excitement,
and stuff,
yeah.
It was excitement. So we have to look at these time Batman going out there with Batman mask on. These are things that we have to talk about, you know. This is what make the male part of the sport exciting.
But is it
all these characters?
Is it our fault that we force the women to suppress certain behavior and behave like ladies, behave ladylike? So what they do when they run across the finish line, they hug each other and they move on, while the men do little stuff.
Just bump.
You know?
I mean, persons can view it that way, you know. Persons, you might have persons that viewed it that way, but really and truly, when female athletes characters show, it bring an excitement to the event. One event that I will bring up, let's talk about I think it was it wasn't the steeplechase. I think it was a 3,000 or the 1,500 with Brittany Anderson and Christiane May.
Christiane May. It was the 800.
It was the 800. Remember, these events, they don't normally carry excitement,
Yeah.
but that little rivalry between Brittany Dixon
Dixon,
and
yeah.
Christiane May, that brought look excitement to the 800 meter. Remember that at Gibson we saw Christiane May bounce Brittany Dixon, and she was hungry, and a lot of supporter
Rivalry.
was railing, and the
Yeah.
rivalry was there right throughout the season. They were battling neck and neck, you know. Then on the champs final day, you know, Brittany Dixon, she let Christiane May lead the pack, and on the final 40 minutes, Brittany Dixon just right past
But you know
Christiane May.
something,
Excitement.
but you know something. We want excitement, and when the lady turn on the excitement, we judge them. You remember how we used to criticize Jetta? Jetta used to have this thing about her, and we used to judge Jetta and said and said all kind of things. But she actually came in 2008, 2009, thereabout, with a little flair, and we never like it because we were saying, oh, she show off
Yes.
and all of these things. So
All right.
what do we want from the ladies, really? Shakari,
All
we
right.
gave
No, but
Shakari a hard time.
yes, but HP, we have to say this, Remember, that Jamaicans, we might give them a hard time, but this is what is gonna make the thing exciting. So we can't watch giving the hard time, because remember, we gave Justin Atlin a hard time, we gave Tyson Gay a hard time, we gave all these athletes an hard time, because remember, it's the heroes versus the villain. So if we don't have a villain, no one is interested. And the fact that we had the Carmelita Jetta as a villain, everybody was interested, because we want to see the ladies them beat Jetta.
Yep.
So
The
everybody
business
was
of
in tune.
sports.
But if they don't have a villain, then nobody is really interested. It will be only the devoted sports, the devoted track and field fans that will watch it. But me I tell you, when the villain did it, when the Jetta, the Shakari, the Tyson Gay, the Gatlin, all people when they know about track and field are watch, because them just want Tyson Gay get beaten. Them just want Gatlin get beaten. You understand? So
Davian,
that
your
carry out the
thoughts.
best in the
No,
Your
no,
events.
thoughts.
no, no, he's correct. It's a business of sports. Just like how wrestling, there's a lot of showmanship in American wrestling, and that's why wrestling is so big. In American football, it's the same thing. It's always the Cowboys versus the Eagles. You have to pitch the Philadelphia versus the Dallas people, and the rivalry and the battles continue and grow. And the business of sports is an actual business, and the only way the business succeeds is if it has something to sell. You know, yeah, you have to go into the newspaper, open up the Gleaner, see pictures of the ladies battling back and forth week after week, and then trying to guess who is going to win the next boys, and I mean the next girls championships, and how it will play out. I remember going to girls champs when I was in class 2 and watching Ines Turner and Reveille Campbell clash in the 400, and that was a big race because Ines won the 800 and then Reveille won the 200, and they clashed in the 400, and that the stadium was packed. It was full, and everybody Reveille cried afterwards, and everybody was heartbroken that Reveille lose to Ines. But that's what people want to see. They wanted to see the battle of the carpet area school versus the country school, the 800 girl versus the 200 girl, and so those are the things that sell newspaper.
True. And
Yeah.
the thing is, we've had some real great clashes on the girls
Oh yeah,
side in
all the
girls
while.
champs, because I've seen Veronica Campbell versus Melaine Walker in the
Yep.
200, where Melaine actually won that 200 meter. We've
Yep.
seen Anisha McCloughin versus Facey from Veer. We've
Yeah.
seen we've seen so many, different clashes and stuff, but for some reason the women are still
But
begging for
HP,
the support. But
HP,
I'm happy for the
HP,
merch.
HP.
Yes,
Let's
yes, sir.
talk about this. Let's
Yes,
talk
sir.
about
Yes,
this.
sir. Let's talk
So
about it.
remember, on the male side, the points are normally a bit closer. On the female points over the years, there is normally a gap. So when the female win, them just win. Them just win so. You understand?
But you
But
do have
males,
individual
no, but FP,
clashes.
we are talking about everything, you know. We are
The
talking about
team.
it's going down there, the whole team, and know that your team need this point. And you're gonna
True.
go out there and you're gonna push. Right? So the males, how many years have we seen the males go down to the very last event, the 4x4? And
2017. I
I
remember
think
2017
I think the most exciting year in
was tw-
boys champs
was
ever
2017.
was when Christopher
2017.
Taylor went up against Akeem Bloomfield.
Oh, that was 2016.
From
That was
the start of the
2016.
gun, the stadium was
I was
erupting
there in living
in a
colors.
lot of
Yep.
excitement. And we are talking about KC and the Calabar going head to head. Let's move into the final exchange where Calabar was in head. Akeem Bloomfield got the button. Akeem Bloomfield flying around the bend, passing Chris Taylor, the crowd going wild.
Yeah,
And at
that
the
was
final moment, Chris Taylor passed Akeem Bloomfield. Let's talk about that level of
epic.
excitement.
Yeah,
And this
epic.
is
That was
why
epic. Yeah.
the boys' side will always carry the majority of the crowd. The excitement, the thrill.
Jamaica started with the men in 1948. Our dominance started with our men back in 1948. The likes of Mr. Herb McKinley, Arthur Wynne, George Roden, Mr. Leslie. We started in the 400 meters. And of course, as we get into the late 70s, 80s, we started in the sprints. And of course, the 21st century just pushed the bar so high, it is ridiculous. Can we credit champs, boys champs, for what we have achieved so far from our men?
Of course, definitely. The boys and the girls championships is the farm ground that created the talent, so that we can have the successes that we're having right now. You have to have a farm system, and then every professional league have a farm system, and the athletes that have been produced at boys and girls championships have risen to the forefront at the international level. And so, if we didn't have boys and girls champs, we wouldn't have the successes that we have on the international level.
I mean,
But I just want to say, it's not only 400 now. Remember,
yeah,
Herb Mack used to run the 100. He was
He
ranked
won
number.
silver. He won
Yeah,
silver in the one. Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So we've always had sprinters. It's just that no, we have a bigger team, so we have people specializing in certain events because we have so many good athletes.
What can we, Prince? You were going to say something.
yeah, I was gonna say, it's not even what the boys and girl champs have done to our chat program, It's what it has done for the world, right? Because you know that the boys and girl champs, this is the number one high school track and field event in the world, right? Year to year, we have scouts all over the world coming to the boys and girl champs. We even have visitor visiting the island for an high school event. Let us talk about that, right? Visitor flying all over the world to visit an high school track event. Boys and girls champs is just amazing, and this is the best sporting event that Jamaica have on its calendar.
It is the energy. The energy is something different. I cannot explain this energy where people, Jamaicans and visitors will travel from anywhere in the world to come and be a part of this event every year. It is amazing what we have created, and to me this is one of the best planned sport event in Jamaica, and it is something. And just segueing a little bit, what can we expect from boys champs 2023 as we wrap up?
Well, the athletes have been prepared very well by their coaches. We have excellent coaches who have graduated from GC Foster system, who are level 5, level 4, some of the best coaches in the world, the best credentials in the world. And they have these young athletes that they have molded and prepared mentally and physically to go out there and challenge. Yeah, I think it's going to be another fireworks again. All the big schools will clash head to head. The times will be astounding. Don't be surprised to see another world junior record goes down, especially on the women's side, but the men's side as well. Yeah, a lot of fireworks are planned. People are trying to break the records and become. I won't put any pressure on anybody, so I'm not going to call any names of who is going for
Dr.
what
Speed.
record.
Dr. Speed, North Street.
Yeah, they're going for all the records. They're going for all the records, and rightfully so. You want to put your name down in history. You know, when I was running at Champs, I wanted to break those records, and I did break those records. But no, nobody remember me because my record has been broken at least 20 times already. But you know, this is a chance to get your name down there, win your gold medal, and secure your legacy. And anybody that comes to chat, people will be listening to this podcast and don't understand what we're talking. Some of the people have never been. But until you go to our boys and girls champs, you won't understand what we're saying. Book your ticket, show up, and you will feel the energy in the crowd. But I expect the men's title to come down to the wire, and I think the women's title will come down to the wire again this year.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, I see that coming.
So you know, first of all, a lot of person asked you where was Unseen. You guys aren't reading the name. Unseen.
Unseen took a break. Unseen, what are you expecting from champs this year, boys champs this year? What do you anticipate? What do you see happening?
We question a lot of fireworks, and especially some of the athletes that have coached at the primary level will be on show. the Kamani Garden, you know, big
Calabar.
up. Yeah, Calabar. Big up Coach English up at what's school name again, man? Polygon Primary School, working with Kamani Garden. You know, and also going to the champs now. He came second in the Carifta 100 meter. Yes, you have Raquel Reed, who I personally worked with for 2 years at primary school, getting him up to par and then sending him off to Calabar.
So you're building your legacy, man. That's good. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
But we need to check with him, you know, because we understand why he must send all them athletes him to Calabar.
You know. All right. So the relationship with Calabar, you want to hear it?
Yes, please. Yes.
All right. So when I was at Charlie Mount High School, like usually get footballers from Calabar, like trade off. And also the relationship with the Calabar scouts, them know all about football in the country. So them link we up on a baller, we get them coming in. We get a baller from Calabar, we send a tracks athlete. You understand me? So the link build from there. And you know, the Calabar recruiters and the past students, them nice to deal with, you know. Them.
But you know, say really and truly though, as a coach at the primary school level, you know that most of the times when I really believe in a sending off all the athletes and when the big school them come call it. Yeah, right? Because I would have coached at the primary school level, just like Unseen. And that is one of the main reasons why I am not coaching at the primary school level again. Right? Because most of the time you might have a team. Say you have a team with about 40 junior athletes, right? Now you might have runners that came first in their event at the primary champs, right? And they might also have athletes that just made the finals. You might have athletes that made the final, and yet still you're getting scholarship offers for these athletes, right? What I always say is that the athletes that you know can make the transition at the top school, you send them off. But for the lesser athletes, you don't send them off. So, for example, an athlete that would have finished eighth in the final and such, don't send him to a school like Calabar and so. If you know that there is a other offers on the card, for example, Excelsior might come, etc. You can send them off to these lesser schools to
But
develop properly.
But suppose Calabar, sending that athlete to Calabar can further develop their talent. Why wouldn't you want to send them there, even though they did not do as good as the other athlete at the primary level?
You know, at the time, Calabar, they recruited heavily, I see Calabar go at primary champs and they try to gather up all the finalists.
Right. That's what they do. That's what all the schools do,
all the
you know?
finalists in
Yeah.
one event. So
Yeah.
when you're trying to get all 8 finalists in the 100, then you go into the 200 and you try to get all 8 finalists. You go into the 400 and you try to get all 8 finalists. It's very difficult for the athletes to make the transition because the competition is so high, and you realize that when the athletes they are, when the first year they are class 4, right? But class 4 doesn't necessarily run at champs. By the time they are class 3, the previous incoming class 4, you might have other athletes that are better than them, pushing them down the order, the pecking order again. Also, you might have hidden talents that don't show up until class 3. So you might send an athlete that finish 8th at primary champs and they are pushed so far down the pecking order to the point that they are not even a part of the sport anymore. And I have witnessed that firsthand. I have witnessed where I've sent my best athletes to top school, and it's the athletes that I sent to Camperdown and Excelsior are the ones that were performing
And that's what I
better
was just and that's
at the
what I
high
was
school
just and
level.
that's what I was just going to say to you, that the athlete that wins at primary champs doesn't necessarily, that athlete don't necessarily have to transition better than the athlete that finished 8th. The athlete that finished 8th at primary champs can be the one who come out and top by the time they get to class 2. So how do you decide which athlete you're going to send? Because let us look at it from a parent perspective. If I am poor and I have my son, and my son finished 8th at primary champs, and one of the top schools called him and said, look, we can give your child a space. As a parent, I want the best system for my child, or I am thinking that one of these top schools is the best system. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to channel my child in that system because they have a track record of producing outstanding athletes. So how do we really strike a balance? How do we really decide which child, go to which school?
Yeah, that is a very, it's a very tricky choice.
Yep.
It's a very tricky dilemma, right? Well, it's a real dilemma, I have to say, right? But it all comes down to the coach and to the parents, because sometimes best isn't always best,
True.
right? Sometimes best isn't always best, and you might have other schools that actually give the athlete a little bit more breathing space. So, for example, you have a female, right? A Heidel might be coming, a Edwin Allen might be coming, right? No, all these schools are top schools, and you're saying that your child will be better developed. But remember that you have the schools like States, you have like Wolmer's, we have Queens. All these schools are very good schools, the Immaculate, that have produced excellent runners, right? So not all the time go sending your child to a idol. Hold on, let me switch my earphones. Yeah, so sometimes not all the time it is best to send your child to an Idol and to a Edwin Allen, especially if you know at the time that your child is not the best. It's like you sending a child to chase a dream. Now, when you're and that is where the coach come in and where the parent come in, right? Because the coach most of the time can see the potential of the athlete, right? It is easier for an athlete that is on top to continue making the transition, but it's very hard for an athlete that is down the pecking order to make the transition. And this is why I said I think it's better when the athletes that finish 8, they find themselves at school like Wolmer's, right? Because they realize that if you send 10 athletes that have finished 8 at the primary champs, out of the 10, only 2 or 3 might actually develop in a better athlete.
But
Because
we've seen, you know, where coaches have taken athletes who finish last at champs, never met the final. And we've seen where coaches have taken those athletes to stardom. And we can name quite a few of them. You know, so how can we tell what will work and what will not work? But I you know, I do understand where you're coming from, but shouldn't we be giving all of them, you know, a chance to go where they think they might be happy or where their development might work out how they want it to work out?
I remember HP that these kids, they are 12 years old, right? Most of these kids, they are actually going to choose a top school, the
True.
KC, the Calabar, because they see these school dominating champs and they want to be a part of the winning atmosphere, right? But as a coach, you know better because we are like when you're speaking from a spectator standpoint, right? But I'm speaking from a coaching standpoint. And I've sent athletes to Calabar, even though I'm a KC supporter. I've sent athletes to Calabar. And I've seen where these athletes they didn't make the transition at champs. They participated at class 4, class 3, and they got washed out. Some of these athletes they actually went into other sports like football, cricket, but they got washed out.
I've
That's
seen it,
how
yeah.
deep the quality of Calabar was. They got washed out in the quality. While I was at primary champs, I ran at primary champs, and the best athlete from my school went to Calabar and he got washed out. I think he went there as a 100-meter runner, winning champs, winning the primary champs, and he later did the long jump, and he eventually got washed out because better long jumpers came in. At the same time, I'm saying that all the athletes that I sent to traditional high schools, not powerful like the KC, the JC, but schools like Queens, Camperdown, Excelsior. These athletes they never become champions at champs. But at least I was at home and I was seeing them actually making the rounds, actually going through the East, the semifinals. Some actually made the final, and all those athletes were the ones that I sent to the lower schools. All the athletes that I sent to the higher schools, they got washed out. And these athletes that I sent was the better able athletes. They were the better quality athletes.
Ready for my story now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, man.
You want me to tell them?
Yes, David. Tell them,
So
please.
I never run at primary school champs. I never trained in primary school. I just went to KC. Them never know that I was a runner. I didn't participate in any sports first year. Second year, I only did cadet corps, and then I start running ninth grade.
Remember, me tell you said there are some hidden gems, where eventually I go
No. But
some of the prize
tell them,
athletes that came in.
So my primary school, we don't do sports. Nobody recruit from my primary school because we don't do sports. And so there's a lot of people. I know that what you're saying, that there's some hidden, but there's also a lot of people who are undertrained or underdeveloped. Because the reason why my development took on that speed was because I wasn't training before. And so once I started getting in a system and started training, that's how I excelled. So only reason I'm telling you guys this is that a lot of people are, because I was recruited to Casey, and there was a bunch of people who were recruited, and once I started performing, I surpassed those guys, and they just gave up because they didn't have the interest in sports anymore. But I'm saying there's a lot of athletes still out there, even after primary school, that at the high school level somebody can pluck and turn them into a gem. So
Indeed.
as a coach, you have to have that
Yeah.
eye out there, and you have to keep looking, because there's tons of people in your school that's still walking around that not doing sports that could be very good.
So HP, you say a similar point to it that I was trying to make. You know,
Yeah.
that better athletes were recruited, and when Davian came in with his hidden friend
His
Jem,
hidden talent.
they actually kicked the prize athletes down the pecking order, and they got interested
Because
and this
he
is
was
something that
better.
we see a lot. You know,
Yeah.
No, but
and
it's them
and
quitting
that's why I
on.
would say sometimes as coaches we have to look out for the best interests of the athletes. It's not about just sending the athletes to these top schools, right? If we are looking out for the athletes, we should send the athletes to schools where we see them best develop. So if you have an athlete and this athlete is really fast, is a star at the primary or the prep champs, and you realize that with better training, this athlete can actually make it, you would want him to send him to the top schools like the KC and the JC, because right there they have the resource and the proper training. But if you have an athlete where he's not that much of a quality, but you see the potential in him and you realize that he might need a little bit more time for finding true potential. You're not going to send him to a top school where competition is high. You're going to send him at a school where Excelsior, where it's a little bit more easy to get in the team, where he's under proper coaching and he has the time to develop.
So now more research is need to be done then when an athlete is moving, a student athlete is moving from the primary level to the high school level. And for example, if Calabar has 3 young men running in class 3 running 11 low, or 4 of them running 11 low, my son running 11 low, it would not make sense to send him to Calabar. Right?
Can I answer that one?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So it come down to programs, right? So programs at school. If you have a good program at, say, for example, at Petersfield have a good program. The athlete will do well at Petersfield, right? Calabar have a good program. The athlete will do well at Calabar. Understand me? But if you're at a school that is not prominent like a Calabar, you don't have a good program. You wouldn't want to send an athlete there. Right?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Not beating any schools, so like a St. Mary's College. You don't want to send an athlete there because the program is not good or not up to par to produce a talent or put out a talent. You understand me? Now, what Calabar did over the last year was recruiting only the top runners from primary champs. And I always say that even Ricky Reed, the scout, we're really looking at him. We're looking at the command guard who won his 100-meter. They were looking at my boys such as much as the other top ones who there's a next one, Quincy.
Peku, Jamaica Peku.
Jamaica Peku. At the time was Quincy. Okay. Quincy at Portsmouth Primary was a top runner, and there was a Calabar coach who was coaching Quincy. No, he was the best at the 100-meter at the time. Quincy is nowhere to find at Calabar anymore. You understand me? Yeah, so Ricky Reed now in can't run fast like them athlete there. So at the end of the day, scouts have to understand that you have to can see farther than first place at primary champs. Some of the time, the runners in the semi-final, their future is brighter than the one who come first in the final.
Yes, indeed.
And as a scout, you have to consider that. Not only go for the top talents. You understand me? So you look at the body type. Like When I carried Ricky Ellery to the first track meet, big up Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds. The man said, I saw the youth big. What kind of shoes him wearing? And I know the youth from nowhere, you know, what kind of shoes him wearing? Western Sports. I'm buying my spikes. And he said, go and work with the youth coach. And I said to him, say, know yourself, man. When primary champs come, man, I'll go beat him now. Can't beat it. You understand?
You know,
Because me know how to load and unload, you know. You understand me?
That's important. That's important.
you know, I have I actually had an athlete like that, you know, at primary champs, you know, where she ran the 100-meter final. She had eventually went to Camperdown, right? But the girl that ran second to her, she was my athlete. She was short. She was very short and stumpy. She won her 100 meters. Now the girl that ran second, she was very tall. Like, I didn't believe this girl was a primary school athlete. This girl was very tall. This girl looked like a 9th grader in high school. I was very shocked when I saw her. They call her Baby Giant. You must know. And my athlete actually demolished her. And, you know, persons were in the crowd and they will say, you know, LBW, you know what that mean already. And Baby Giant, and, you know, and I actually said to them, you know, that as somebody that has done tracks and have experience, when you see an athlete like that, you can't beat her from she young. You get me? I say, because you see, this girl, as much as though she got demolished, she will eventually surpass my athlete. And this girl, what happened is that a top school scoop her up. I think it was Idle that scoop her up, right? While my athlete went to Excelsior. And this girl actually became better than my athlete, as I said. And she became a superb 400-meter runner because she had the height and she had the body. The only thing that was needed was the training and the technique. She had all the potential. So even though at the time she wasn't better, she surpassed my athlete by a mile.
Wow. So in wrapping up now, just quickly, I'm going to test you guys' brain, but before I go there, who is winning boys champs? Just quickly give me a school. Davian, who is winning boys champs?
Casey.
All right. Prince, who is winning boys champs?
Casey.
Unseen?
Bar.
Oh, you mean?
Let me tell you what I saw at corporate champs have me thinking, because at the corporate area champs, Calabar was leading going into the 4x4, which was a shocker to everybody.
No,
they were either leading or very close to, or very close. You're right, they were very close.
The leading was an error.
Yes, they were very close. And I'm like, when or how did Calabar get this close to KC at the corporate area champs? Because
that don't mean nothing, man.
I agree because I've seen KC gone to Gibson and dominate Gibson, and everybody was like, yeah, KC I got win chance, but it was Calabar. So a lot of times that don't mean anything on the day, but I know for sure, or I think for sure, it is going to be very close.
Yes,
that's what I think. I think it is going to be very close, and I think KC will win. KC has the product to win, but of course you cannot rule out the Lion, because the Lion know how to come from behind and come steal your title. You know,
HP, like we have to be honest with ourselves sometimes.
Yes, I agree.
You know, actually in the carpet area champs, KC had a mirage of mishaps.
Yeah.
The amount of mishaps.
One of them with Adrian Carr.
Adrian Carr, the 4x1 drop in the button. KC had a mirage. They even had an athlete trashing out in the 110-meter hurdles.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm saying that the potential is there for any school to win champs, right? The potential is always there. That is one thing you can never underestimate on the boys' side, because a number of times we have seen school that was out of the picture just swooping and won champs. So you can never underestimate anyone.
That's true.
That is
That's
the
true.
first thing. Now, what we have learned is that if KC can get, if they can get it perfect, then they would have won champs easily.
And we know there's no
problem
perfect
really
champs.
starts when, and there's no perfect champs.
No perfect
the problems
champs.
really starts when they start losing points that they should not lose. So as long as KC get the points that they are expected to get, they will win champs. But the moment they start to lose points here and there, then you can expect a tight finish.
And that's what championship is about. That's what championship is about.
Yeah.
Being able to get the points that you're supposed to get. Who remember 2012 champs? Who remember 2012 champs?
I'm not gonna lie, though, HP. Like, me and the ears, them are really good.
2012 champs, the Saturday evening. Going into Saturday, KC was leading by 30 or I think close to 40 points or something like that. The 400 is normally the 4 events to run. After all the 400 ran, Calabar cut the deficit so close and ultimately ran away with champs. 2017 again, KC had it to win. All KC needed to do was to finish anywhere Calabar finished in the 4x4, just finish behind them. And Calabar won the 4x4. And as Ricardo Chambers, who was doing the commentary, said, KC was nowhere to be found in the 4x4 where they finished 5th. That was a big heartbreak. So the point I'm trying to make, when a team turn up, it doesn't matter how poorly they are doing, they can find it. So we all agree that KC is a team to beat.
Yes, definitely.
I'm a Calabar supporter, but I am being practical. I am being practical. KC is the team to beat, but I never rule out a champion. So
you know what was surprising to me? It was actually Calabar finishing over Jamaica College at the corporate area champs. I didn't expect Calabar to finish over them. It wasn't really getting close to KC, you know. It was really separating themselves from Jamaica College.
Yep. So now, in closing, I'm going to pick you guys' brain. I'm going to call some champs standout. Well, not all of them are standout, but they competed at champs. And they move on to becoming Olympian, world champions, and all of those fancy things.
So now I will.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Unseen. Why Calabar going? Talk to me, Parry. Why Calabar going?
KC man can't just talk, so I'm getting with it, you know.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
All right. So you see if Calabar can ace all of them get from Central, from corporate, if them can ace it again, if them can go back and get, you know, those points again at champs, and then now you have the states now and the Clarendon College and the Illinois now beat up KC, you know, some of the event, you know, the class, especially class one where Calabar.
Hold on, I want to ask a question. As you talk about stats, class 2 100. Who you think is going to win that? If Shaquin run the 100 between him and Todd, you feel him can beat Todd?
If you put that away, you feel Todd can beat Shaquin?
Hello, you know, see Todd a fire?
Todd in a different farm right now.
Yeah, man, him looks super
Have you
good,
not
man.
seen him farm? The man farm is super.
Gordon winning the under 20.
Yeah, Gordon. I have Gordon to win. I have Gordon to win that race, but Todd.
Remember, you know, listen to me. One thing people don't understand is when time champs come, Calabar no play with speed training, people. Speed training time, no. You see. How much days from now that? So we're there the 13th, right?
We're 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today. You know how much training that? You know speed work that? And load time now, you know?
Yeah, man, Shockwave look like a monster, but may I tell you, Todd have me nervous right now because I put my money already on Shockwave. I can't take it back.
But what I know still, it's going to be maybe a 2-3 for Calabar or a 1-3 because Kim and the Gardener get a medal. And Shockwave get a medal.
So you
like only Calabar and
So you-
States alone in the area, say.
That means no man. Let's no one.
Yeah, man,
Unless-
Stetson them, man.
No,
Todd-
I mean
Todd
KC,
and I.
KC.
Yeah,
KC
KC
can
not
come in
really.
you know. What tell why KC can come in. Because KC can pull Turbo and drop him at 100. You know.
They know how KC know how to get
No,
points.
Turbo can shock the crowd,
In the
you know.
finals.
You know,
Yeah.
KC
No,
drop
Turbo. No, man.
Turbo to 100.
And
No,
see,
but-
me know, you know, but me I say the way you attack is like I just States
No,
and
but they're
Calabar
not
and
gonna
go the race.
No, but remember, you know, who remember that? Who remember that last year class 100 meter? Nobody was looking at newbie. I am going to be honest. I did not factor newbie into that race, none at all. And still, my naked eye tell me say is newbie won that race. Just to emphasize that sometimes there's an athlete that we're not talking
Rising
about, and
athlete.
on the day, them just come steal the points.
Yes.
And that happened with N Crew me and Ibert Marisa.
Oh, Daily.
Don't remind me his name.
Daily,
Daily.
DeAndre Daly, yeah.
DeAndre Daly. Just like with N Crew me and DeAndre Daly. Like nobody expected DeAndre Daly to take it, you know? And he
Yep.
just came on and, you know, surprised everybody.
Yes.
Yep, indeed,
Surprising
indeed, a
factor.
good thing. So, three of us said KC. I'm a Calabar supporter, but I think KC has the edge. Based on what I've been seeing all season. But of course, I know what the Lions from 61 Red Hills Road can do. Unseen said Calabar, and of course the 240s man them, Davian and Prince.
Yep.
But I am going to call some names now, and I want you guys to tell me which school they rep
So no
when they were
female
going.
predictions.
No, well, girls champs. I'm having a girls
Ideal, man.
champs. I'm
Great
having
idea, man.
I'm having a girls champs discussion coming
Yeah,
up.
well,
on
show the
Wednesday.
girls have some love too.
All right, true. Girls champs.
This is your third place, man.
Who will win girls champs?
San Diego.
We can't lock off Davian screen.
Let me tell you, Davian has a story, you know, with St. Jago. St. Jago was supposed to be his school, but that's for another story. So Davian says St. Jago. Yeah. So who will win girls champs now, Unseen?
Unseen.
Ideal for me, you know. Ideal will win.
Prince?
You know, this is a tough decision, you know.
Yeah.
Because we have Edwin Allen with a deep depth team, right? But we have seen where Idol has dismantled their 3 buses. You know, Idol definitely coming in with the quality. We can never leave out the champions from Manchester, Wormwood. They are looking dangerously poised.
They are the dark horse, yeah.
For the tournament for the event. You know, they are the dark horses, but I think that Idol, they want it the most. And I'm expecting them to win because they are the team that are showing that they want to win the girls' champs.
If Heidel can get some middle and long distance points and some more points in the field, them can't lose. But if they cannot produce, they're going to have it difficult if they can't produce middle and long distance points and field points. Because we know that Edwin Allen is very strong
HP
in the field. No, you can't win point. You can't win champs without middle and long distance.
Remember, in the HP and a 3 school, they are girls champs, you know.
I agree.
You have the Petersfield,
I agree.
You have the Excelsior.
I agree.
Who would have come thief points, you know. And
I agree.
Don't think the spring event I go Central Champs way this year because you have a lot of schools making noise. Let's talk about the duo from the Wolmer's High School.
Well,
Let's
that's
talk
that's
about
that's
that
a
duo.
given. That's a well.
You know?
Personally, I think that class 3, 100 meters, it is going to be if Terry Long, and I'm glad she got the qualifying time. If Terry Long can find her, because Terry Long is very strong, you know.
The long
Listen,
cannot
no,
find it here.
no, I don't think she can find it either, because I notice a lot of Natrice East races, she comes from behind. Now, if she allow a Terry Long on form to get ahead of her, she cannot catch Terry Long, because Terry Long is very strong. But I think the duo from Wolmer's will be getting the big points in Class 3 East and Marshall. If it's not 1-3, it's 2-3. But I think they're very much up in the top 3. Class 1, oh Lord have mercy. I don't know what to say about Class 1.
We have
Alexis
to just
James
enjoy
is
the moment.
yes. Alexis James is looking good. Alana Reed is at the height of her junior career. Serena Cole is peaking at the right time. That's all I can say about the top 3 ladies. All 3 of them went to the World Juniors last year and came back home with silverware, and they are still on a high.
I believe if Alana Cole, if Alana Reed, sorry, get a good start, and you have better start than Serena, she can beat her.
Yeah, because she's very strong at 200. She's a 200 runner. So yeah,
Serena,
I agree. Yeah.
Serena Cole,
I believe that Alana Reed is gonna take it, and the reason why the rounds, I believe that Serena Cole will be much weird than Alana Reed.
What from the drums?
No, through the rounds, right? Alana Reed, she have showed that. Remember, you know, that Alana Reed have showed that. Listen, she can do the rounds and she can run fast every time.
Yeah.
She have shown that no matter how much races she do in a one day, she can run fast every time. And I think that is where Serena Cole might lose out on the rounds.
Yeah.
But Serena Cole,
now counter out. Yeah, man. Now counter out.
out.
Yeah. Now counter out.
I'm just leaning to Alana Reed at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yep. Indeed. So, who winning girls champs now? Davian said St. Jago and my 2 good friends over here said
we don't discuss. We don't talk about one girl from
Heidel. I am tipping Heidel too, but if Heidel drop points, if Edwin Allen, and which we know Edwin Allen will get points in the middle and long distance and in the field, if Heidel cannot get some points along with them, it is going to be ding dong. So we will see. But what a legacy Corey Bennett would have if he win girls champs and boys champs. Never in the history of it's doable. It's doable, but on the boys' side, KC look more rounded because Calabar's class 1 is struggling. Their class 1 is really struggling. So let's see what will come. But
I have a special reason why I don't want it to happen. You know
why not? But it would be good for us. It would be good
when our team them win.
No, but it would be good for champs overall, having the same coach winning girls champs and boys champs.
Creating history.
Yeah, it's a part of our legacy. It's history, no.
I don't want that happen.
It's history.
Well, I'm looking. We have a coach, that is coaching 2 separate schools. Right? I don't want other coaches to start bringing on this practice because
no, but we need more. More coaches to be flexible, being girls coach and boys coach.
Hear me on HP,
So it would start a tradition.
You know the amount of work where you put behind, to get teams prepared for champs. I'm gonna believe when you mind the 2 different places, you're not giving enough emphasis on the athletes.
All right, let's just look at Corey Bennett. Look at what Corey Bennett is doing.
And that me I tell you, so we have seen instances where senior coaches are not giving athletes enough attention because they are preoccupied with clubs and other teams, etc. Right? And you know, the idol girls, they are just moving into another phase. And I would rather see him settle down at idol, you know, and get them to be a champion first before him start to move on to other programs.
My thing is, if you
That
can
is just
do
my
the
thoughts on it.
if you can do the job and if you can multitask, I don't have a problem with it because right now in champs, Corey Bennett is trending. We've never seen this in the history of champs over 114, 13, 14 years. We have never seen this before. So we are now rewriting the history book. And at the end of the day, it is about our legacy. And I would love for it to happen because it would take the event to a totally different level. Because many times we've seen, even though it's not the same school will be winning, but many times we've seen where the girls' schools do very well and the boys' schools struggle. It's just St. Jago and Excelsior were able to get the co-head school kind of equally competing and getting points and stats.
Yeah, but
along with
Romano
stats.
go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
two
saying.
different
Even,
money, you know.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
why
Even
it won't be like, all right, if for
This-
example Jago winning both, it won't be like it won't be the same for Corey Benny.
I know,
Because
I know.
Jago, they have to use the same resources
I
to try and win
know,
both.
I
But Corey
know.
Benny, he have Calabar resource and he also have idle resources.
But this would
So two
still
different
be, but this will still be something that we can chase. So we're now at another level. This would put the whole championship and high school coaches on a different level. But with that said, I want to quickly wrap up. So I want to test you guys' brain now with these male athletes who competed at champs and went on to do great things for Jamaica. So I'm going to call the name and you tell me the school that they went to. Raymond Stewart.
Camperdown.
Woo, one up for
Print
Davian.
Factory.
One
Come
up for
older than
Davian.
them, that's why I come older than them.
No.
Hold on. I'm going to write that down. One up for Davian.
Generation gap.
Hold on. Davian, Prince, and Unseen. All right. So Davian is at 1. Donald Quarry.
Kingston Technical High School.
Beep, wrong. Donald Quarry. Wrong. Donald Quarry.
I forget the name of the school.
We're going to one more chance each.
Can't guess.
Donald Quarry, Camperdown.
Camperdown.
Yes. Yep. Davy and Clark.
Casey.
Davian. I can't believe so the man.
I'm thinking it's a different name, man. I'm thinking it's a different one, man.
Davy and Clark, Kingston College. Lennox Miller.
KC. Them don't know them.
Yes, man. Look here, man. I want to deal with Gregory Horton.
Excelsior.
Yes, sir. Hey, no, man.
Generation gap.
Some black and white days I go back in.
No, man. Winthrop Graham.
Stets.
You're dead. Boy, Davian are killing no, I swear. Usain Bolt.
Oh, no, Usain school.
Usain Bolt.
William Nib.
Yeah, you know, answer that.
No,
Yeah,
hey, it's a speed section, you know. As you hear the name, you can't answer.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
answer.
Danny-
I'm gonna answer.
Danny McFarlane.
Oh, Chariot High School.
Cheese and peace. Boy. Asafa Powell. Look here.
Charlie Mount High School.
All
Charlie
right,
Mount,
Unseen.
Secondary.
Unseen, get that. Michael Freighter.
Go almost
Manchester.
Boyd Anderson.
Woolman. Davian got that. Woolman's. Nesta Carter. Nesta Carter.
Charlie Monto.
No, Michael Freighter.
No, Michael Freighter is
Nesta
Woolman.
Carter go Manchester Eye. Manchester Eye, Nesta Carter.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
boss.
Yeah. Michael McDonald.
Michael, Diego.
Nope.
Oh, them don't know them man. Veer.
Yep.
Veer.
Yes, sir. Steve Mullins.
First world junior champion.
Yep. Steve Mullins.
Veer as well.
Yes.
High school. Veer.
Veer.
Veer. Run
Mike-
20.3 at champs and a
Oh,
negative
here-
2 win.
Wanna hear that? Michael Blackwood.
Veer technical.
Yes, sir. Oh,
One
God.
from Portland and a Clarendon.
Oh, Jesus. Johan Blake.
St.
Diego.
Diego High School.
Diego.
I won't come up first now.
Me, man.
Unseen.
I see it.
Really?
All right.
One little points, man.
Speed challenge, you know.
Nickel Ashmead.
Diego.
St. Diego High School.
Diego
There.
again.
And
Hey,
seen
you know when the name
again.
Diego, you know, brother, you have to say
And
St.
Diego.
Diego, you know.
And
So you
seen
have to
again.
be, you know.
And seen
And
again.
Diego, I see, said, I don't know which man in Diego, you know.
Pong Street
Nate-
and Pong Street.
Nathan Allen.
Diego
St. Diego High
again.
School.
Who said
Said
Jacob
winner.
for David?
Come on, you have to
Me,
give it.
me,
Listen,
me,
you have
no?
to give it. Come on.
Diego,
And a
one
Davian.
more.
No, man,
St.
give one of
Diego,
them.
not
Give
forgive
them,
me,
help
man.
them out.
And see,
All
get
right.
that.
And see
All
him
right.
get it late, man. Come
All
on.
right.
No,
St.
Listen,
Diego High School, you have to give me that.
All right,
listen
watch
up
out,
now.
kill.
All right, I'm going to give you an unseen. Bert Cameron, first world champion.
St. Diego.
John, I'm forget that, man. Jesus Christ.
Unseen. Come on, man.
Yeah, we should get the one there.
Hear the name you know. Navaski Anderson. He broke.
St. Diego High School.
Sure, I said yes,
Kingston
sir.
College.
800 meter, man. Know that.
National record holder, yeah. Gregory Megoo.
Calabar.
Nope.
Women's
Casey.
boys.
Nope.
Just I say Diego.
Jago. Jago. Hear this one now. Donovan Powell.
I saw for brother.
Yeah, I
Go
saw
to
my
Jago.
brother.
Telemoto.
Yes, no, Jago.
St. Diego.
Who
Yes,
remember
I was
champs in the 90s with Daniel England and Donovan Powell, that famous 200 meters?
One.
Man.
Only too young.
I think I
No
did.
idea.
Yeah.
I watch it live. I watch
Prince,
it
I said,
live.
black and white is.
Oh my God. All right,
Black and white.
here we go now. Arthur Wint.
Calabar.
Yes,
That's all?
sir. Yes, sir. Herb McKinley.
Calabar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Calabar.
Warren Ware.
Calabar.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Calabar. Yeah, Calabar.
Maurice Wignall.
Calabar.
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 Prince again.
No, David, get the one there. David,
Oh,
get the one.
Prince, man. Hey,
They're
I
gonna
see.
get it two of them. Frederick Dakers.
Calabar.
Calabar. Hey, Prince.
Yeah, look-
Thank you.
Look like
Get that
everybody
before you-
get that.
Hey, Prince, come on, man.
Calabar.
Travis Michael.
Calabar.
Calabar.
Sure.
Give
You're
time.
late, man. You're late, man. Ready?
Who
Time.
Time.
Murray
Same time.
Smith.
Calabar.
Yes, sir.
You don't know what this one is.
Boy,
That's the second.
boy, me not think they're gonna call a score ya, cause Davian wrapping up enough, but
They never pass me. I think them catch me.
it was
Restart lines are
fun.
too late.
It was fun.
No love for the
Relax.
females. Oh,
You're not
God.
talking about a girl. Oh, God. I really feel it.
No, because guess
Yes,
what?
we-
I leave
hey,
the girls. I leave the
Tell
girls.
HP, look, HP always I say, oh the males them get so much attention, but no female love tonight.
No, guess what? No, guess what? No, I leave the ladies.
All right,
for-
10 ladies. 10 ladies. That's 10
All right,
ladies.
let me
That's
go
it.
to 10 ladies. All right, don't move.
Not
Let me
going
go
in,
to
but
10.
after
Look how me
that
gonna mash up. Look how me
No,
mash up
no.
on the meds now with the ladies. What you
But
do?
you know
Don't
the
move.
ladies them more, you know.
All right, we will see. We will see. We will see. We will see. Hold on, don't move. Don't move.
Mhm.
All right, here we have the ladies. All right. Jackie Pusey.
Very technical. Really?
Nope.
Alpha.
Nope.
St.
All right,
Diego.
I'm going to give you a hint.
Thanks.
This Jackie Pusey school won girls' champs twice.
San Diego. No, San Diego win it 4 times.
Yes.
Wilma's girls.
Nope. Woolman's girls not win girls' champs.
No, they
Mm-mm.
they win it
Which
twice.
school that?
St. Mary High School.
Oh,
Yeah, we
yes,
like-
yes,
oh,
we
keep it
forgot.
going,
Yes,
keep going,
St. Mary
research that.
win it.
Hey, you know.
That was why I said they won 2 girls' champs, because they were one of them when mash up Veer party. Okay, Grace Jackson.
Queens.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I remember see who know the ladies better. All right.
All right.
All right. Lacina Golden Clark.
There.
Yes, sir. You would know that one, of course.
I want the Davian and Veer. What is the connection with Veer?
That's my wife.
You don't get none of the Veer people, bro. You know.
That's his wife. That's his
That's
wife. Lacina Golden Clark is his wife. Yeah. That's his wife. Yeah.
Spend a lot of time at Clarendon.
Delarine Ennis, London.
Jago girl.
Yes, sir.
They don't even know who names her.
They don't even know who names
so. Man. We know who names so. But
school.
All right.
Yeah,
Michelle Freeman.
St. Jago.
St. Jago.
Yes.
No, what time? 2000?
All right. I'm going to give them somebody. Davey and you're going to kill them off. Sharon Simpson.
Manchester.
I'm not answer no more. I give them a chance.
Yes. Sharika Williams. 400 meter silver medalist.
Very technical.
Nope.
No, well, Sharika Williams, I said. Jesus.
Yeah, not Jackson.
St. Jago High School.
Nope. Go on again.
Sharika Williams.
She won.
What was?
No.
Nope.
Clarendon College.
Stay down at the Veer side. Stay down that side. Stets. Yeah, Stets.
No, but on the Veer side.
No, you said Stets? I lie. You never said Stets. Move and see. You never said Stets. Bridget Foster Hilton. Stets.
Stets.
Mega go no Mega go no easy one. Shelly and Fraser Price.
Womas.
Yeah, allow me that.
One. Veronica Campbell Brown.
Veer.
Who said first?
Me, Prince. Come on.
Me.
Why, Prince?
What's a Veer like?
No, I mean, said Veer friend for.
What's a Veer before you
Prince voice me here.
The mic.
What's a Veer before you vote me about?
All right, here the one here now. Karen Stewart.
St. Jago High School.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
don't
sir.
play with ladies. Don't play with them.
Aileen Bailey.
St. Mary High School.
Veer.
Come on, man. Oh, you for miss Alien at Veer. I whoop up girls champs. All right, Peter Gate Dowdy.
I've never hear about them people, man. Jago, man.
Say Jago. Peter Gate Dowdy.
But you know, like Davian, live down at Clarendon, man.
A fee place,
even
man.
Even go KC.
A Spanish town I come from, man.
A Spanish town him come from. That's why I said Jago. What he was supposed to go Jago. Sandy Richards.
Me when you go to, you know, I think this Clarendon College.
Yes, sir. What a good guess. Yeah, Clarendon College. Yeah, Clarendon College. Yeah. Jillian Russell.
Them don't know that one, man. They not get that one.
Yeah, no Russell.
Yeah.
When I bought this,
champion,
yeah. When I bought this hurdler,
yes, Sandy is a person who always a hear about when it comes on to the female champs.
Yes,
a lot of
400.
About because they always say that she was very brilliant.
Yes, man. Yes,
you would never,
man.
but she never make the transition to the senior level, and she's one of the athletes they really talk about.
She did. Sandy did.
I talk about Claudine Williams.
Oh, you're talking about Claudine Williams. Okay. Yeah, man, Sandy. Yeah, man, Sandy. Sandy, outstanding athlete for Jamaica, won at World Juniors Senior. All right. See what hard one here now. Elaine Thompson Hero.
Manchester High School. Thank you.
Wow.
I see they just
one Prince. Here one name, you know, we're gonna mash them up. Lilith Hodges. We shouldn't ask about that one. I can't know. Her school won girls champs twice.
St. Mary.
St. Mary.
You shouldn't say so. Hey, it's give you a different clue.
Nicole Mitchell.
Them don't know them people there, man.
Jago.
St. Mary. And then she switched to Wolmer's.
Wow, you should have get 2 points to that, Davian. Yes, she did. Sharika Jackson.
Which high school?
Veer.
Ochi
What
High
a brother,
School.
what a brother they say?
Ochi High School.
Ochi.
What you say, Avier?
Ochi High School.
Avir,
Ochi High
she
School
go.
first school she
Look
go.
here.
Avier.
Ochi High
Mind
School
Veer,
first school she go.
mind Veer people are upset with you.
Steer, Ochi Primary and Ochi High School and she go Veer.
She went to Ocherius High? That's
Of
new
course.
information.
I never see her run for what she still.
I never know that.
She go
Honestly?
Ochi Primary and she go Veer.
We I give half
go,
pound.
No man, that have to be one of me. Did you know?
Ochi
Seriously?
High, then she go Veer.
Who, Sharika?
Yeah, Sharika Jackson. Sharika Jackson
Wow.
come from St. Anne. St. Anne,
Yeah,
Sharika
Yeah,
Jackson.
she come from
Ochi.
St. Anne. Yeah.
Watch athletes normally go Veer still. Because even
Okay.
athlete like Amai Brown went
All right,
to
now go
Ochi
right it.
and Veer.
You say Ochi High and then Veer. Wow.
Yeah, Ochi
We
Primary.
learned something tonight. Dion Hemmings. Me not go to no more of the ladies.
Manchester.
Jago.
Nope.
Manchester.
Nope.
Diane Emmons.
Manchester?
Yeah. She went to one school and then she moved to a top school.
Shame on me.
She
Almost
went
hate a Manchester rank.
to a school that never won girls champs, and then she went to a school that won 21 titles in girls champs.
Veer.
No.
Me not go no more. One more me go no. Juliet Campbell.
Juliet Cockburn.
Davian, don't answer.
Nah, answer.
Juliet Campbell.
Ferncourt.
No, not Ferncourt.
York Castle.
No, that's where Dion Hemmings went first, but
Hold on.
no.
Them don't know Jules.
Yeah, they don't know Jules.
Puma's girls.
Puma top rep right now for the Caribbean. She went to St. Jago. No, me should have met
No,
Davian
somebody
answer.
said Diego.
You did?
I did one.
Lie.
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 I won
So-
before one.
So Davian won again. Davian won with the ladies and Davian won with the men. So,
Yeah, so what
thank
was
you.
the score? Because I just want to hear some beat unseen. You know.
Yeah, don't beat me because
Yeah. Davian won in both sections.
I name the work well at all.
Prince second, and then Unseen. Unseen never concentrate, man. Him busy I do other things.
You see,
so.
unseen, you get beat. You get
But
beat unseen.
the thing is that I learned something tonight because I did not know that Sharika actually went to Ocherius High and then Veer. But that's why these discussions are good. You know, we learn things. So I'm not giving no more of the ladies them. So this is for the ladies. I'm doing girls
HP.
champs Wednesday night with Aileen, Karen, and Sandy. Yes, sir.
So you'd have realized that on the man's side, Davian just dominate and would just blank. But on the girl's side, it was actually a bit more exciting.
A battle.
You realize?
Yeah,
it was a battle. You know, so even though Davian still this man,
You know, it was set up that
No.
game.
his Cardan connections. We were more competitive with
What
the
I did, you
female
know,
size.
what I did with the girls, I tried to mix it up to make sure that you guys get some, because if I had gone into some other females that I have, Davian would, you know, like people like Michelle Berger and Ines Turner and those people, Davian would have known, you know, those
It will be
people.
unfair.
It would be unfair. So, but this was
Generation.
very good that you guys know our athletes. We should have a nice little quiz set up, Unseen and Prince on your channel. Have a nice little quiz thing and people can get to know the athletes and where they're from. So thank you very much, gentlemen. It was fun. And we will talk soon. Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good
And
meeting y'all. Bye.
Bye. And to everyone on the live, thank you for coming.
Big up on yourself.
Big up on yourself every time.
One
Big
and
up,
see.
Davian.
Manage. Chat.
Yes,
Please,
big up every time. One Jamaica.